Afternoon, VC, Harris here. Can I just have a moment of your time? We are a community, we are a supportive community, but a community is only as good as its weakest link. We're heading into a harsh winter. Food costs are going up, petrol costs are going up. Audiophiles have seen the costs of their collections plummet after the MoFi debacle. They've got a tough winter ahead. That's how I came interested in the Adopt an Audiophile Foundation. Or as we call it, the Adopt an Audiophile, AAA. That's irony on a base level, isn't it? AAA, they bloody love that, wouldn't they? AAA. I became interested in the Adopt an Audio Foundation. Just a $20 a month fee will feed, warm and clothe an audiophile. You get a biography, you get a photograph. There's my lad there, he sent me this. That's Mike from Delaware, in better times, obviously, with his muckers. You get a biography. Hello, I'm Mike from Delaware, age 57. My interests include Rush, Pink Floyd, and never knowingly being wrong about anything and saying it in a loud voice. It's a 12-step program. We're looking to, with Mike, we're looking to ease him away from MoFi, all analog. Maybe by month 3, we can get him into vinyl, me please, and maybe by 12 months' time, if all goes well, he'll be just wandering around Walmart, slack-jawed, goggle-eyed, eyeing up Adele remasters. That's the hope. But if there's one takeaway from this, please guys, remember, an audiophile is not just for Christmas, an audiophile is for life. Thanks for listening. Let's show some records. I was day of release. I don't buy new vinyl anymore. I've been waiting for this for ages. My contention is that the Sweet are in the top 5 guitar bands of the 70s. Maybe the most influential. Are you telling me the New York Dolls weren't into the Sweet? I mean, look, or Motley Crue, hair metal. Amazing. I love the Sweet. This has come out today. Greatest hits. 69 to 78. Wouldn't it have been better if... Can you imagine if Bruce Springsteen called his greatest hits with a Z at the end? Or even Van Morrison. I'd have a lot more time for Van Morrison if he called his greatest hits collection greatest hits with a Z at the end. But this has got the side 1 of all time. It's monstrous. Absolute monstrous. Ballroom Blitz, Blockbuster, Teenage Rampage, the 16s, and then maybe the greatest track in the world, Fox on the Run. Falls apart a little bit, side 2. It's their early stuff, Hellraiser, Rick Roll. Side 3 then kicks back into gear with their sort of ELO effort, Love Is Like Oxygen, then Funny Funny, which is just the right side of Bubblegum. Alexander Graham Bell, Turn It Down. There's some great B-sides as well. This Lady Starlight, Stairway to the Stars. I love it. I think the Sweet, I've loved the Sweet. I've always loved the Sweet. I think they're lunacy. They sort of boiled down T-Rex, Slade, Bowie to the component parts. And just utter idiocy in the greatest way. And I'll tell you what, this is I hate modern pressings. They always sound rubbish to me. This is fantastic. Unfortunately, it's on flipping stupid pink vinyl. This sounds great. This is the best new pressing I've heard. But yeah, the Sweet greatest hit, 69, 78. Really, really pleased to get this. And yeah, fantastic stuff. Next up, I thought I'd show you this just because it's an old. I've had this for 33 years, I think. But there's a bit of a Krautrock thing going on at the moment. Michael the 45 King, Michael the 45 audiophile. He's been showing Can, and he showed a bit of Noi. And I mentioned on a few comments, years ago, back in I think 91, I bought Noi. This is the first Noi album. If you're going for Krautrock, this is the one for me. Halligaloo and Negative Land are the 2 amazing tracks. It's just bass, drums, that motoric drum, no vocals, which I think really helps. This sounds fantastic. This is a UK first press. I bought this for £3 back in 1991, I think. Second hand, no one else wanted this. It just sat there. Now this is probably 100. I mean, this one's a little bit knackered, I think. Plays like a dream. You get there was a little thing from Dave Brock from Hawkwind on the back, but this to me is the best of all the Krautrock records. It's come out repressed. I mean, it probably don't sound as good as this. Sounds incredible, this Noi album. A lot of people go, Noi 2 ain't, I don't like Noi 2. Noi 75 is the one that a lot of people go for. It was Johnny Rotten's favourite album, I think that was. I don't like Noise 75 as much as this. It's worth it just for Hullagaloo and Negative Land. Negative Land, obviously so good that the band Negative Land called themselves after it, on the band from SST. Fantastic this, and yeah, I just thought nice one to show. I've been playing this a lot recently. I've probably not played this for 25 years. Dug it out. It sounds better than I remember. Absolutely incredible stuff. Kind of sound like I always wanted Pink Floyd to sound when they were described to me. I thought this was how Pink Floyd would sound, but fantastic stuff. Next up, this is there's a new shop in Southampton. There's a record shop in Southampton called Vinilo on Queensway, opposite Debenhams, RIP. And they do new records. It's been around for about 5 years. Just relocated just down the road. Great record shop. And they just opened Vinilo Vintage, second hand, only a few yards down the road. Well worth checking out if you're in Southampton. I bought this Public Image Limited. This is Not a Love Song, 12-inch. This was on for a £5, so I thought I've forgotten how amazing This Is Not a Love Song is, and it sounds like early Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It's almost like high energy, fantastic. But the reason I bought it is it's got Public Image, the first single, so to get that on a 12, and it does sound incredible, absolutely incredible. Keith Levine's guitar when you hear this on a 12-inch, sounds absolutely monster. Public Image was probably one of the first post-punk songs, wasn't it? You know, it sounded so different to the Clash. Really, I always think the Clash and Sex Pistols, I do like them, but they always sounded just like sped up rock and roll a lot of the time, especially in the early years. But this was different, wasn't it? This was like looking to the future a little bit more, Public Image. And yeah, fantastic song. But yeah, This Is Not a Love Song is a lot better than I remember. But yeah, great trying this on a 12. Also from Vinilo Vintage, this is a bit almost in Grail territory for me. It's the second Durutti Column album, LC. As you can see, the red flag here was the water, and I would recommend, I never give a stuff about sleeve condition, but if there is watermarks, that's a red flag, because obviously once water gets on a record, it pretty much becomes impossible to clean. This is kind of the case. I've given it a good go with the spin clean about 3 times, and there's still a little bit of crackle, which for this record you don't want. Fantastic, beautiful Durutti Column LC. Again, Vinnie Riley's Echoplex guitar, just beautiful. And he's got a drummer on here as well, on some of the tracks, not just drum machine. Mostly instrumentals. Unfortunately, Vinnie sings on a couple of tracks. His voice is absolutely appalling, but he kind of gets away with it. It's a great record, LC. Maybe not as good as the debut. I think the 3 Durutti Column records I would buy personally is the Return of the Durutti Column, the debut, LC, the second, and one called Vinnie Riley, which is the Durutti Column, which came out in 1990 or 89. Fantastic records, but they're all pretty decent. But yeah, love the. I think I've seen the Omaha Introvert so this recently, but yeah, fantastic. But yeah, might have to look for a slightly better copy. Also, I just picked this up because David Lars Freeman and Alan the Static Traveller have been showing a lot of classical, and I always thought I need to get into classical. And David Freeman spoke so passionately about Holds the Planet Suite, and it's 99p digital. Why were they making a deal of digital in '81? Was that a big thing with the classical market even before the internet? But yeah, obviously I didn't realise, I knew a lot of it. Jupiter, the bringer of jollity, always gets shown on Conservative or Labour Party conferences, but Satan, the bringer of old age, is fantastic, and it sounds very much like the music from Taxi Driver. So I dare say Bernard Herrmann would have listened to this a hell of a lot, because yeah, this is great. And of course the glory of this stuff is it's 99p. You can't really go wrong. So Holds the Planet Suite. I'm going to start doing a bit of research into some other classical, maybe an area to get into, especially as it's 99p. You can't really go wrong. Also from Vinilo Vintage, and I was so chuffed to get this, the Ganja Cruise Super Sharp Shooter. Anyone, if you were in the Empire in Bognor and this is like the Smells Like Teen Spirit of jungle. It absolutely went off. This was so good. When I went to the Empire and they played this, there was a bloke who used to have a can of WD-40. And whenever he wanted there wasn't a lot of security going on in this club. Whenever he wanted a rewind played, i.e. the DJ to like and spin it again, he used to spray his WD-40, which is that spray oil, get a cigarette lighter and shoot like an 8-foot flame up into the air, which was fairly terrifying, and he didn't seem to get kicked out. But I wasn't even allowed to take chewing gum in there. I used to get that taken on, because obviously if you had chewing gum, it normally meant you were on speed or you were on an E because you were chewing your gums. But yeah,
Super Sharpshooter by the Ganja Crew, absolutely fantastic. So chuffed to get this. Brings back mega memories of '95. This, whenever I play this, it still goes off in my living room when I play this. Fantastic stuff. Also from Vinilo Vintage, I got the first. I think this was the first ever Nightmares on Wax single. Dexterous. Sounds fantastic. This came out on Warp. Decent price on this. Fantastic stuff. And I got from Oxfam, I got Laid Back by White Horse, which was like an early 80s electro classic. If you want to do it, don't ride the white horse. I don't know if many people know it or not, but it's fantastic. Fantastic tune, that. And I've shown Low Noise Jason Skill showed this recently, so it's kind of coincidental. I found a copy as well, but fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. So that's all my recent finds. Hope everyone's alright. I'm sure there'll be some more videos later, and take care everyone.